Welcome everyone. Welcome to the last episode of Last Horizon. The crew's in a little bit of predicament right now. Before we get into what is surely to be a tense situation, while we check in with our cast and how they're feeling, what their characters are doing in this situation, and what they're feeling in this moment before things probably go a little wild. So we'll just start with our usual thing. We're going starting with Cleric and going counterclockwise. How you doing?
Wow, I'm doing okay, actually. Yeah, I'm Kat. I'm at Clerk, of course, if you miss me in the tunnel. Dahlia is my character. We both use she, her pronouns. Dahlia is sitting in Marca's chair, which means she's in the pilot's seat. She's got a foot on the clutch, one hand on the gear shift, and she is feathering the gas, waiting to be unfrozen from this moment in time, courtesy of our dear beloved oh, no, can't say it, our Captain Iliab.
Can't even fake it.
Oh, oof.
And because as far as she's concerned, she'd rather take her chances off this large floating ship, the Ganj-I, than the and out in space. If she's going to die, she wants to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I've been humming the Firefly theme song all day.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing to hum, and hopefully, at least for our pilot. How you doing?
Oh God.
How you doing?
It's so great to see all of you right now. It's awesome. I am terrified, absolutely terrified. I'm also Colin at Colonomicon on Twitter. He, him pronouns for both me and my character Marco, the intrepid pilot, who is now convinced, probably more than at any point up to this point, that he is about to die. We had a blind portal jump once. You get like one of those per campaign and live to tell about it. We're talking about blind portal jump number 2 right now. And I'm not feeling that at all. But I also just saw every ship that flies off this ship goes outside and gets eaten by space demons. So we're just 10 different kinds of screwed right now. So I think Marco's very much at peace with his inevitable death. And that will probably color my actions following this accordingly. And I am absolutely horrified. Please, Chaos Chorus, I ask of you. I'm one of you. You know me. I love to stir the pot. I come in here and donate subs just to make crazy shit happen. Listen, Chaos Chorus, we need help. We need help really bad right now.
Right there.
Oh, God. That's me. Please save us, Chaos Chorus. Please save us.
And our captain, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine, and I'm KY Hawkeye. I am playing Ganj-I-sawai, the captain of this ship, and I am not too worried about outcome per se, because I know if the crew follows my orders and directions, we're going to be just perfectly fine. But if they start doing some deviation, I can't guarantee any kind of safety. Although
that might be the single largest if anyone ever used in a sentence, Hawk.
However, deep down inside, he's wondering how many more seconds he's got to be alive on this thing to help keep them alive, and we'll find out that very shortly, I presume.
And the one who opened the hangar doors and was part of the awesome little slingshot thing from last week.
Hello,
how you doing?
So cool.
Great, Graybeard of Graybeard's Tavern, and well, Fahar is the torn. Mom and Dad are fighting, but this time they're fighting with guns. So yeah, he's confused as usual. and we shall see how things go. It's a roller coaster, definitely a roller coaster. So, Icon's with us.
Let's hope they're more with y'all than last week. And Niles is no longer the one with the guns being pointed at him by the crew. How things have changed. Great. Things have changed. Maybe better. Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. I'm Spencer. I'm at Spence the Old Taco on Twitter, and Spencer's great. Niles is in essentially full on murder kill mode at this moment towards Iliab. So we'll see how what appears to be the universe's most dangerous Mexican standoff goes when time decides to resume here soon.
Oh yes. Well, I'm a little behind the scenes thing. Everybody's been racking up some pretty vicious combat talents, and I'm slightly afraid. But before we get into it and get into this heated situation, we'll have some words from Past Charlie.
Past Charlie here to tell you about a few of our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice, providing us access to roles, tokens, maps, and more. You can try it today for free at fantasygrounds.com. While you're there, why not check out Fantasy Grounds Unity? World Anvil is a remarkable resource, whether you're a writer, GM, or player, organizing your campaign notes or building an entire world. Get forging today for free at worldanvil.com. And before we get into today's game, we'd like to shout out our friends at Andrews McMeel Publishing, who published the wonderful game Zweihander. If you haven't checked that out, you can catch it here on Wednesdays. We'd also like to mention Modifius, who manage and produce a wide range of RPGs. Whether you feel like being Dishonored, exploring a tale from the loop, or boldly going with Star Trek adventures, why not check out Modifius.com.
Oh, thank you, Past Charlie. And let's begin. We start off in the town system. System glowing, ominous red. The planet itself ripped to shreds, and in its place, a glowing rift in which the giant merchant ship Ganj-I-sawai, covered in billowing black inky smoke and orange lightning, damaged but still somehow making its way closer and closer to that rift. And in this ship is the possibility. And as we zoom in on it, through the open hangar bay with the terrifying creature encircling the Ganj-I-sawai, we go into the possibilities bridge, which there is a little bit of a tense situation where Iliab had disarmed Niles with some mental powers and now sits with his gun. The frozen time has now clicked back into real time. And here we are. Guns drawn.
Can we just go back to Past Charlie instead?
Niles now sees that he no longer has a gun in his hand.
Okay, but before we really hit this, Shauna, can I just ask, like, what was the rest of our perception of what just happened with this time stop thing?
Everyone just, it's like a split second, Iliab was there. You saw Niles pull the gun. Next second, he was sitting in a chair.
So it's like there's like
No,
a gap in
longer
the
has
tape.
been.
You just
Yep. Like there might have been a little bit of a mental jolt, but it was too fast. It's like he was there and then was in the chair.
I mean, Marco's looking around confused, looking to Fahar and Amara specifically, since they're kind of on the out of that situation. Just looking to Fahar and Amara like, what? Just...
Marco and
Look-
Fahar will both feel the engines revving and hear them hit that whining point that we're ready to, that we'll be launching within moments. As
Dahlia, wait.
Dahlia start... Why?
If we go out there, we die.
If we stay here, we die.
Not
death-
necessarily.
You're all full
You
of
want me to-
surprises.
Amara,
You want me to
shut
take
up.
the word of someone who survived the portal jump without a stasis?
The thing is, maybe Zoe can help. Maybe Zoe's the missing piece to the puzzle. I mean, she loves all of us, right? Maybe if she's made whole again, she can fix this.
Zed-Not Trey is the key to all of this.
Marco, will we survive
we-
if we go out there?
No.
If we take off, we'll suffer the same fate as all those other ships that have tried to leave and have been consumed and destroyed. If we stay here and we get Zed-Not Trey to her destination, we live.
As soon as Marco says no,
Okay, go ahead, go.
Dahlia will throttle back the engines
All right.
and she'll leave them idling, and then she'll just look at him. Sure, see. And she'll get up, she'll pick up the little wax figurine, and go over and sit down at her gunner's station and check the guns. Her carbine is propped up next to her, in easy reach to be picked up and used if needed.
Thank you. Captain, we don't have a lot of time. So if you're going to explain this, you're going to have to do it quick and concise. But here's the deal. If we fly out there, we get eaten alive. Look, we've pulled off some crazy shit together, but I don't think there's anything between this crew that can match that, as like indicates out to the swarm of space demons eating ships alive.
Oh, he's quite right.
There's nothing we can do if we go out there. I can't pilot us out of that. Dahlia can't shoot us out of that. There's just no way. If we stay in here, we go into that portal that no one has survived going through in, to my knowledge, ever since the horizons were closed, and we die. Either way, we're dead. So Eliab, if you have something that keeps us alive, I want to hear it, but you got to do it quick.
Oh, you did.
Oh, sorry. Awful time for
Also,
it, but yeah.
Niles,
keeps
what do you
it-
do?
Yeah,
What
Niles,
keeps
I'm
us
sorry.
alive is staying here on the Ganj-I and having Zed-Not Trey with us. That is our cargo that we have to take there, by letting it pull us there. If we do anything else, if we deviate anyway from that, I can guarantee all of our souls will go to oblivion.
You want us to make another portal jump on a ship we have no control of, where with Bajin all around us.
This is not a standard portal.
Meaning,
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, and the
It
pilot
mean-
thought I was the cryptic one.
Amara, are you the Jinn or Amara right now? I'm sorry.
I'm the Jinn. Or-
Okay, I'm not going to tell the Jinn to shut up, but I'll tell Amara to shut up.
Niles, what are you
Yeah,
doing,
good.
bud?
Yeah, sorry.
This takes us to where Zed-Not Trey is from, and that will get their seek her her return, and when we do so, we will be taken care of.
You have quite a bit of faith, preacher. Who told you
Of
this?
course.
Whose reasoning
know
are you
this?
following? Yours?
The Jin makes a good point. How do you know any of this?
When I was, as you say, going through the portal jump outside of the stasis tube, I wasn't just out in the middle of nowhere. I was in a temple-like area, speaking to someone who looked just like Zed Not Trey, only older in appearance. Someone from the same world that she originated from.
You met another Zoe?
Yes.
Zoe's body can't age. You realize that, right? The body that we know of for Zoe is one that does not age. So how can it be an older Zoe?
From what she told me, this is not Zoe's original form. She's taken on this form when she left where she was from and to become part of this ship.
She's from the Second Horizon?
Yes.
Dahlia gets up and goes over and sits next to Fahar and puts an arm around him.
Fahar leans in and, he keeps looking around and, like, looking up and, kind of twitching. Kind of freaking out.
I'm going to cast my eyes over to Niles and see what he's doing, because I'm kind of going back and forth between Eliab and Niles, making sure Niles doesn't charge and stab this guy or something.
You see that Niles is kind of just looking at his hand where the gun used to be. And he kind of locks eyes with Marco for a second. Does he give Niles a look of like, don't do anything stupid?
Yeah, it's a eyes wide open, like, please don't do anything dumb.
And Niles will just slowly sit back down at the sensors station, but he's got his eyes dead set on Eliab the entire time.
Okay.
Oh. Preacher, that certainly changes things. Oh, we all might be doomed no matter what happens.
Or we may be on the verge
Thank
of
you,
something
Jim.
more wonderful than we could ever imagine. Then I look down
Telling
at
me-
Zoe to see if there's any change in her look or condition.
No.
Okay.
You're telling me that you saw all of this with your own two eyes, Captain. You spoke with
Yes.
another Zoe. You saw all of this. This is your testimony, essentially.
Yes, I was the only one in the building besides the other Zoe to survive the jump
I am going to use
inside that.
a talent. I'm going to use a talent I took with my last level up, called Judge of Character.
Oh.
I can tell if someone is lying or telling the truth without testing manipulation. It only takes about a minute. I can't tell any details, only whether the person is lying or not. Any half-truth will be read as a lie. Unfortunately, this gives the GM a darkness point.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Hey, that is 4. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Was anything Eliab just not true?
Are you asking me or asking Shauna?
I'm asking you. I mean, it's, yeah, because I will
Okay,
know.
I just wanted to make
Anything
sure who
you
was
just
supposed to
said,
answer.
Yeah.
I have answered you honestly to the best of my knowledge and recollection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Anything that I might have said incorrectly or omitted was not by intent.
God, this feels like a deposition. Okay.
and Fahar like grabs his head and he's just shut up.
Whoa, hey.
Something wrong with
They're arguing.
Amanda?
They're all fighting.
I'm gonna run. I'm breaking my gaze completely off of Eliab and running over to Fahar to put an arm around him. Like, what's going on? What's happening, man?
The faceless one, the judge, and the traveler, they think we should take Zoe to the place. They want Zoe to be whole. And the deckhand, the dancer, the gambler, the merchant, they are all screaming at them, no. They don't understand. They never fight. They usually talk one at a time.
Oh, I'm so tempted to use that ability again now, but
The Jin just looks at Bahar. It's like, just kind of furrows his brow. Interesting. Preacher, it's very important
You're muted, Cat. You were talking.
that. Oh, Preacher, it's very important that you tell me what exactly did you see when you went through the portal. I have an idea, but I want to hear from you.
This will sound strange, but the best way I can describe it it was like I saw everything that is, has been, and will be almost all at the same time. It's like I saw everything and nothing, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry if this sounds confusing, but it's just an overwhelming, it's like I was aware of so many things at the same time, I almost couldn't take it all in. And the physical form of the other Zoe took on a lot in radiant form when all of this was happening.
Can I apply my judge of character to that sentence too, to know if he's telling the truth without burning another darkness point?
Oh no! Oh
No,
dear.
no.
I said,
No.
oh no, do you?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
have 4.
I'm talking kind of retroactive. I don't want to give you another darkness point. I'll drop it if you don't want to do that.
Dahlia's watching the Jinn to see how he's reacting to these statements of Iliab and to what Fahar said.
This is the first real interest, like intense interest. It's been mostly like kind of dismissive every time he's interacted with any of you, but this has got their attention. And can I ask you one thing? When you were knowing everything, seeing everything, you saw the faceless, all of them, correct? Is that something you saw?
Yes.
The many uncountless.
The many uncountless faces. So many faces that no way a mere human mind could take them all in, so it all becomes a faceless mass because there's so many faces there, so many things that overwhelming the senses.
Man,
As he's saying that, Fahar's nodding, kind of like,
Oh, hey, it's okay.
Man of Faith,
Pat
you
and Fahar
saw
back.
the many faces of the damned victims.
Victims?
Victims of what?
Did this person tell you what their intent was? Their purpose was?
To restore Zednot Trey, or as everyone likes to call her, Zoe, back to her true form.
I've been around a long time, and I'm unsure what they teach you about how the Third Horizon won the war. Did they tell you the valiant Third Horizon fleet pushed back overwhelming odds to cut off the First and Second Horizon? That sort of thing?
Yeah, something like that.
Of course they would.
That's
They
the way
wouldn't
I
want to
learned
say
it.
what they did. it was a time I have been around, and I was around when that happened, hundreds of years ago. It was as desperate as the books say. Pushed to the edge. One last battle to keep the Horizon's freedom. But that fleet was not a last stand. It was a sacrifice that those leaders, the ones that led Third Horizon, dealing with the dabbling in the darkness itself, plunged the other two Horizons out of this realm and into the realm of wherever those portals dwell. It was desperate. This was the last gasp of the Third Horizon. And if this didn't work, you would have surely been run over, quickly reabsorbed into your old master's service. And that's why you have the Faceless. The Faceless did not exist before that. The Faceless is your people's shame. And that's why you don't acknowledge it the same way they acknowledge the others. You want redemption, but you do not want to reconcile with what your people did.
They were a sacrifice.
Yes, as this ship is a sacrifice, apparently. Didn't know it until the second preacher told what this is.
We're being sacrificed once again to the second and first horizon to keep them appeased and from consuming the third horizon. Is this what you're saying?
I imagine it's like when you give something a feast and you cut it off, it grows powerful, but it wants more.
It will have no more masters.
Look across to Dahlia, to Fahar, to Niles. Look at Niles with the be cool. Look at Dahlia. Try to make eye contact. And mouth.
She's sitting on the other.
Launch.
No, they don't. No, we can't take Zoe. We can't. If she's here, they won't let us go.
None of those other ships had a Zoe on board, Fahar. They didn't let them go either.
I might be able to do something for us. But it'll know if she's here. If we can get her off, then maybe I can run the power through the reactor, overcharge it to give us more thrust, and link it through the stealth system. It might fool it. It might get us out of here. But I don't think we can take her with us.
Are you
Dahlia's
saying... Go ahead.
As I say, Dahlia's going to stand up, rest a hand on Fahar's shoulder, give it a squeeze, and say, she'll be honored. And then she's going to go over, pick up Zoe's body, and start making for the...
Are you going to the skate pod?
No, I'm going to go... I'm going to go space this body. Dahlia's picking up the body, and she's heading to the hatch to the lock. Sorry, couldn't find.
Won't be hard. There's a hole in the chip, so.
What are you
pretty easy to
doing?
get rid of her.
If Fahar says that we can't go, we won't survive with this body on board, then I'm getting rid of the body. And she's picked Zoe's body up, thrown it over her shoulder.
That's the
And-
only insurance you have to get out of here. If there's anything.
Wait. What?
They you might be. I don't know. Maybe the Jin's right. I'll go work on the engines.
All right.
Bahar.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna get. I'll call you. Go down to the engine, start working.
Yep.
And Marco's running over to the pilot station.
Dahlia sets Zoe's body down on the other side of her station at the gunner's station and looks over at Marco.
And looking out the kind of viewfinder of the ship. The way I'm seeing this is that out to the left is the portal that we're barreling toward, and out to the right is the swarm of.
The
swarm of
swarm
space
kind
marines.
of rotates, like orbits the ship, protects it.
I look back to Dahlia. How do you want to go?
Fighting.
Me too.
At this, I'd like to invoke my premonition talent to see where this is going.
Okay. What is your intent, Dahlia and Marco? What's your course of action if you were to proceed? How you
We
want
can't fly
to?
into that portal because we have no idea what will happen if we do. But I'm sticking with the devil I know, and hoping against hope. I believe everything Eliab said, but I also have a Jinn on board, kind of gainsaying part of it. And while I believe Eliab is being truthful, I have to go with the supernatural entity who probably has been alive longer than all of us combined. So, I'm planning on launching toward, can't believe I'm saying this, toward the swarm.
Dahlia's putting her trust in Marco's ability to get him through that swarm. That if there's a way to evade the worst of it, that he can pilot us through, and she'll fire at anything that tries to stop him.
All right, Ilya, make that roll then.
Okay, I've got the right number.
Ooh.
Brutal. Brutal.
You find for the first time that you can't see, you get everything is hazy, everything. You see many different outcomes, but you can't. It's all static. It's like trying to hear a voice in a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You get hints. They may not even link up with each other. And you try to concentrate, focus on them, but it's just too much. The possibilities are just too endless for you to perceive which ones lead.
This is the possibility.
Which outcomes. So, well, since the Jinn just looks at Dolly, I thought you people revered those things. If you look at Zoe, or they'll look at Zoe. Oh, Eden.
I'm sorry, what did you... I didn't quite hear what the Jin said. That we
Oh, Jinn said,
revered...
like, I thought you revered things like her. I didn't think you people would just
She
throw her in
was
the trash.
she was my friend. She was an
She's-
AI,
Oh,
but I do not revere her. I revere the icons. So he was not
what
an
about the
icon.
emissaries?
I have little truck with the emissaries. I worship the dancer.
I'll put this in no uncertain terms. You have one right now.
Excuse me?
What are you talking about?
I appreciate
That's
your
what
clarity
she
for
is. I
once.
was curious.
very
I
nice.
look at Zoe, then I look at the Djinn to see if my assumption is correct. That's what I thought.
So he is an emissary?
Yes.
Not necessarily my kind, but created by you. Something beyond. Sent to the other side and apparently come back.
Marco's in full spiraling mode right now, back into his old kind of OCD tics of just flicking switches and just
So what are you saying?
completely overwhelmed.
That we go through the portal because that's where Zoe, the emissary, needs to be? That we not go through the portal because I what do you want from us?
To survive. Get me home. But I can't go home if home is engulfed by the darkness between the stars, can it?
Then tell us how to survive. How do we survive? Through the portal or the swarm? Because those are our choices.
We were not privy to what your people did. There were mutterings, evidence. That's why I went to as far out that there were rumors that there were 7. Number of the icons, lucky number, created and charged with saving the Third Horizon. And maybe they did. And maybe this time now means they want to
They want
my
new
word.
emissaries.
My word. Huh?
They want
Sorry,
new emissaries.
No, that they wanted to make up for their mistakes.
7
Save.
7 icons. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Get
The
on
dark-
the comm. Fahar,
dark-
who was talking in your head? You said
They
the
were-
icons were disagreeing. Fahar, who was it?
They were all arguing. This is going to take a bit. I'm going to have to stay here and manage the flow if we're going to get out of here, if we're going to escape.
Well, Fahar, we keep going back and forth on that plan because the Jinn, despite some slight straight talk, is now diverting to its old ways.
Okay.
All right then. Fine.
Well,
All right, I want to invoke Mindwalker on the Djinn.
Okay. Okay,
I
what does
want
that
to
do?
see how I want Mindwalker. If you focus your thoughts on a person you previously met, you can tap into that person's sensory input. You can experience what that person sees, hears, and feels at that exact moment, regardless of where in the horizon they are. No thoughts or emotions are transmitted. I want to see everything through its eyes and its senses so I can see, maybe get a feel for how genuine what the Jinn is telling us is.
Okay. Make that roll, then it'll be...
Okay.
And Marco, you mean who was fighting who?
Yes. Who was fighting who?
The judge, the traveler, and the faceless. They were arguing with the rest.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Judge the fight.
They want Zoe to go, and the rest don't.
2 6s.
Excellent.
Huh.
The Jinn doesn't fight you on this. You get more than the surface. The Jinn fills you in that you get glimpses of things that predate you or the arrival of the big. You see everything before for Coriolis, before any of that, hundreds of years. The war itself. You see that evidence of 7 that were meant to provide salvation for the third horizon. That include making terrible deals with the darkness, giving it the other two, and that over time that barrier has gotten thinner. The darkness has been crossing over more and more. That explains the Bajins. The more dangerous portal jumps. The Jinn thinks that the emissaries are maybe here. They can't save the first and second horizon. They're lost, but maybe that they can save the third. And it comes to your mind, talk of mental powers did not become widespread. They're a rumor until the emissaries arrived. And that maybe the fact that you were saved and that the Jinn itself cannot. This is something that the Jinn does not necessarily want to give you, but with your success, the Jinn fears those kind of powers, because that with faith, those powers are mixed with faith, and something it has no power over. And it feels that you are making a grave error in listening to whatever you saw.
What was that again? Sorry, couldn't hear you.
Oh, it also thinks that you are making a grave error.
Okay. All right.
Should I make that roll to fix the systems or to rig it?
Sure.
All right. Oops, picked it up wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, buddy.
Man,
Holy.
6s. There you
4
go,
6s,
buddy.
my dude.
Yes,
It's like a new ship.
Yep.
Got that new car smell.
Hey, we should be ready to go pretty quick.
Before you leave the bridge, the djinn grabs your arm, touches the Zoe. You have her blessing. And you see like a little bit of like exhaustion come over the djinn. That's in my power to do. It'll nod at you. And that just leaves the rest of you. What are you doing? You four? Are you lying?
Awkwardly
That's the
casting
djinn.
eyes
That's the
around
djinn
everyone.
talking, by the way.
Well,
What are you doing, man of faith? Take. I can't stop you. Do what you feel you all need to do. I'm all of the options here.
Dahlia looks at Marco and at Niles. And is Fahar back on the bridge, or is he still down in the engine room?
I have to
Far's
stay
left the
here.
bridge, right?
Yeah, I have to stay here and,
Okay.
and tweak this to keep the overclock going.
Okay. So
I mean,
Dahlia's
Marco's
gonna
also
look
not
at
really returning your glance because he's still in full spiral mode right now.
Yeah. She's aware of that. She's gonna walk over and just kind of put her hand covering yours, like you do to stop somebody from fidgeting. And she's gonna flick her eyes to the Dijin and back to Marco, and say loud enough for them to hear, but as if she's addressing Marco. I've had masters, and I have been sacrificed. I will have neither again.
You put your hand on his hand to steady him a little bit, right? You said?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He takes his other hand off of the command console and puts it over on top of yours and gives it just a little squeeze and just looks up and says, okay, let's do it.
And then in that moment, you see the djinn just shriek. Not a human voice, but something like objects being scraped together, and you see the djinn just dissipate. And Ilium, I'm gonna have to make a mental powers roll for me.
Okay. Mystic powers?
Mystic powers, yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I rolled the right number.
Mm-hmm.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, it's getting good sixes.
Ah!
Ooh.
Mm. The dice do not like me.
Dice jail.
I'm going to get out my dice tray in a bit if this keeps up.
How many? Let's see. So now it's my turn.
I don't like the idea that she said how many.
Ooh.
What worries me was that the Jin just screamed and
Yeah, that
vanished.
worries me too.
That's a little disconcerting.
Ilium, your head snaps back like you were struck. And you kind of feel down the front of your face like a little bit of blood. You take 2 physical damage and 2 stress damage.
Is that the mind points?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my points.
Okay.
He's like nose bleeding right now.
Yes. And you hear in your voice, why have you not brought her to me? Answer me.
Can I answer back mentally, or do I have to speak it
Sure.
physically?
Why not? Oh, you know what? Look,
Alright.
you might have to say it physically. You might have to say it.
Okay.
You
All right.
got-
I
you
have
got-
no
you got
problem either
pretty-
way. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you got pretty. If you managed to evade, I think you would have been able to. But your mind's still recovering a bit from that psychic like lash.
Okay. All right. And I know this is from the Djinn.
Yes, it's the same voice.
Okay.
That same
All
feeling. It's more of a feeling too. You
All right.
feel that kind of pit.
Who are you? Who are you that requires me to bring her to you?
You? I just want to be reunited with my kind, and we will do something we haven't done. We should have done. We should have kept you all together. And you will join them. I thought your faith was stronger, preacher.
My faith is strong, but it just may be different than what you're expecting.
Ellie, what are you thinking right now? This situation.
Me?
Yes.
I am one right now. Eliab is wondering what this Djinn, quote unquote, really is. That all of a sudden he seems to be making demands counter than what I've been told by those I seek, follow, and worship. That's evidently someone's got some ulterior motives here, and I don't trust those motives.
I have not been truthful. I have been nothing but truthful to you. We will join the other horizons and bask in their glory. If your faith has faltered, then I'll claim her myself.
I may have not been prepared for your attack, but my faith has never faltered, and it never will.
And you feel
And if you try to take Zoe from us, you'll have to get past me in order to do so. And I stand over Zoe's body.
make a mental powers roll. -2.
-2?
Yes.
Okay.
You made it
All right.
mad.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure I got the number right. 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
2 6s.
Excellent. You feel like you shielded yourself from a far harsher blow from the Harbinger. And you feel it's like your faith had shifted. It was in one place, and now it's in another. And it realizes it doesn't have the hold it had on you. And it screams in anger.
Not so much fun when you don't have the upper hand anymore, is it?
What do you do next?
I stay there over Zoe's body. I pull out my weapon, my Vulcan PDW, and I aim it right at the djinn and say,
Oh, the gin's gone.
"Oh, it's gone? It's gone.
Yeah, it
Okay.
like he dissipated right before.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Okay. Then
All right, no
instead,
problem.
the first thing I do is I check Zoe out to see if she's all right, if there's any changes in her condition, or if there's any additional damage that's been done.
Nope. Zoe is in the same semi-stable condition she's been in the last day or two, ever since she initially fell unresponsive.
Okay. I make sure that she's in a comfortable resting position and walk back to my chair and say, that's what happens when you stand up to bullies. They turn tail and they run. Now, let's
Captain,
get
you were just
Zoe
talking out loud to yourself for a while there, and I don't know what happened, but
sorry
sounds
about
like
that.
you made some progress.
Our friend Djinn here wanted Zoe for its own reasons.
I see.
And I just kind of convinced him a little bit that its presence is no longer wanted.
So it's time to go.
It's time to prepare for the Ganj-I to be taken to the rift. Unless you intend on flying towards there, but I cannot guarantee if we try to take off from this thing that we're not going to get destroyed in the process. However, I have been considering another option.
Which
Now,
is
how operational is your escape pod that you came over here with?
I mean, it's most likely in the same condition that when you found me. Why?
There's only room for one. Is there room for two inside it?
I think there's only room for one.
Room for one. Yeah.
Room for one. And we don't have any other escape pods, right? That's the only one.
Nope.
The ship only has that one. You have
I'm
one.
just
You have
trying to
one
make
where
sure
there
I'm
were
remembering.
zero, so it's a net gain. It's a net gain for y'all.
All right.
They want Zoe.
The other option would be, if we could do it, and I don't know if we could or not, would be putting Zoe in that escape pod and sending that escape pod to the rift. Since Zoe is what they want, give them what they're looking for.
We could
I
put
was gonna put
Zoe.
myself to make sure, but since I can't fit in there as well,
So if the Ganj-I is headed for the rift,
Mhm.
and they want Zoe to go through the rift, we put Zoe in the hangar, and we take off.
that's another option I've been considering.
That could work.
Not like we
Captain,
have.
would you like to do the honors?
I will take her down to the hangar myself. As I reach down and pick her up and put her in a kind of a fireman's carry kind of position.
Okay.
Fahar, do you want to go say goodbye?
I can't at this point. If we're gonna get out of here, this is it.
I
This is
I will come by the engine room so you can say goodbye. I owe you that. And I
Okay.
proceed to walk towards the engine room where Fahar is.
Fahar's not
And-
there.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
where? Oh no, that's not good. Niles will turn to Dahlia and Marco. Do you need me on sensors right now, or do you think I can make a run to the chapel and say some quick prayers?
Marco looks to Dahlia and Niles and yeah, Niles, why don't you go do what you have to do?
All right, and he'll get up from his station and go down.
Is he taking his whip with him? I swear to God, if he's taking his
No,
whip with
he's
him.
not taking. He's not taking.
Marco, I was thinking the exact same thing.
I would say too, because Iliab left the gun that he took from Nile at his station, right?
I didn't say anything about putting it on my person, so yeah, it would still be sitting there.
Oh.
Niles will just take the gun and kind of like strap it on somewhere, and he'll do as he said and head down to the chapel.
Okay. If I don't see Fahar in the engine room, then I will keep heading towards the hatch to get out of the ship, and I'll try to send a communicate to Fahar. I'm at the door. Where are you? Or did you not want to say goodbye?
I'm busy. I'm sorry, Zoe. Sorry.
And with that, I open the hatch and head out towards the hangar, close and lock the door behind me, and walk out to the hangar carrying Zoe, instead of switching from a fireman's carry to carrying her like this.
You
like
all
cradled?
notice.
Yeah. Mhm.
The second that Iliab closes the ramp, the lights that had been flickering in the hangar just go black. Some of the non-essential systems on the ship also go dark. And around you, Iliab, you see shapes, glowing eyes in the darkness. Two in particular are familiar. It's not the body, it's not the Zoe, but it's
Is it
as
the
if Zoe
person I
was-
saw at the temple? Is it those?
No,
eyes?
it looks like the Zoe that you have. It's pristine, but it's not any hint of robotic artifice on it. It swirls around slightly incorporeally, like the Bajin, like the thing that Fahar saw protecting the ship. You brought her.
Yes, I have her with me.
Put her in front.
I do so, as gently as I can.
Mm-hmm. One second. What are you thinking, Elliot, right now? What's your plan with this?
My plan is to stay out here with Zoe. I'm going to stay on the Ganges all the way through to make sure that Zoe gets where she needs to go. And if my crew decides to leave without me, so be it. My calling is to make sure Zoe gets where she needs to go.
Well done. And it looks down. What's this?
This.
What is this?
What is what?
This is a shell. Where is she?
This is Zoe. This is what we have. This is all we have had.
This is an empty container. Where
What?
is she?
I investigate Zoe's body.
It says it's... The body is giving us the same signs that it's always given. The body's fine.
This
But then
is what we.
something shuts down. You were fooled. It's empty. Where is it? The shadows around you get closer. The eyes listening around, but now unflinching in your direction. And you will join us as a sacrifice, and so will they. I'll keep you, because they're going to want to have another body, another form to fill. And you'll watch as the shadows go into... Find her. Rip the ship apart.
Guys, I think
Cruise
you better
well.
go.
I
You're
hit my
good to go.
communicator. Leave now.
Can we back up a moment?
Okay, well,
To just before the leave now came out?
sure. You have comms of this also, like, so you... Oh,
No, I can hear you.
okay. Oh, I was on the wrong...
Well, it was just me and Alia on the bridge before we
Yes.
got the leave now order.
Yeah.
Niall went to the chapel, and I don't know where the hell
Mhm.
Fahar is.
Mhm.
Okay.
No.
I guess my question is, do I find Fahar in the chapel, or is he not there?
He's not there.
Cool.
So while Dali and I are sitting on the bridge, waiting to see what the hell's about to happen, Marco's just kind of doing one of these, like, rocking back and forth in the swivel chair. And kind of breaking the silence out of nowhere, just says, "Yeah, so I never told you the whole story about the jacket. I appreciate you getting that back. I know you were curious. I never got to tell you about it. Figure we're running out of time to tell stories, so I thought now would be a good time. You want to hear the whole thing?"
Dahlia looks over at Amara, so I'm assuming Amara is still sitting on the bridge
Yeah.
Poor Amara.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look over at Amara, and I look back at Marco, and the look I give Amara basically is, if you move, make a sound, interrupt. It will not go well for you.
She's no, she's just gonna, she gives you like the nod. She's in over her head. She has no idea what's going on other than they're Jin. There's this thing. Yeah, she's
So she's, I mean, because she came over and is standing next to you, so she's kind of standing at your shoulder, and she very carefully takes her scarf from back around your shoulders and wraps it around herself, kind of like she's hugging herself with it. And she's, it's your story. I will listen if you want to tell.
Yeah, it's funny. You're kind of in the story, I guess, so to speak. Did you look at that? I made that thing for you. It was stupid, I know, but the dancer, I mean, it wasn't my best work. I was going to do more work on it, but I never really got
Marco,
much of a chance. Yeah.
a gift is.
Oh, of all the times. No. Sorry, Kat, you froze.
oh no. Okay, all right. You know, use this moment to finally get to see what Fahara's up to.
Or you could go to Niles in the chapel.
Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. Niles, what are you doing?
He sort of goes to chapel. He'll find the part that's dedicated to the judge, and he'll sort of, just get on his knees in front of it. Is what he said true? Are you wanting us to go through with this? Talking about Fahar saying that the judge wanted us to go through with the whole Zoe plan.
You get the feeling that. Ooh, why don't you? We'll see how clear this is. Make a mental basic powers check.
Oh, good. That's a solid. Not a whole lot of dice for me, so we'll find out.
You're communing, so it's not it's not an entity.
Ooh.
There's no answer.
Yeah.
It's not as clear as having a terrifying demon sharing space.
He'll sort of, as means of leaving an offering, he'll take off the necklace that has the symbol of the judge on it and sort of just lean it against the shrine. And he's going to start looking around for our missing crew member, because we have no idea where he is. He'll just, he'll be calling like, Fahar? Fahar! And he's sort of just going around the ship.
All right. Well, we will. Actually, I do want to see what Fahar is doing. What is Fahar doing?
So when Niall gets to the engine room, it is all weirdly wired and rigged through what you probably is the stealth unit. That's all patched. But then we'll cut scene, and we see Fahar in his exosuit somewhere deep in the bowels of the Ganj-I-sawai, and he seems to be just cranking for all he and the exosuit are worth on something. And
I imagine that Fahar, being on these ships most of his life, knows ways to sneak around. And in this, it would be, you see the shapes, you see the after effects, the effects on the dead that going through the portal has wrought on them. But you also feel a clarity. You don't feel the fear as much as you did before. And you know what? I'm gonna have to have you make a check to see how far, see if you can get there without having anything notice you
Awesome.
within the bowels
Okay.
of this ghost ship.
All right. Oh, okay. Not my best. Oh, yes. Oh, love you, dice. Come on, a jack.
Okay, so yep, you feel without the distraction of the usual fear. You took a look at the layout of the ship. You know spaces that are just wide enough for the exosuit to fit through. Side passages. Passages that are meant for maintenance that would be out of the way from anything just randomly wandering. You feel something stronger than when you commune with the icons. It's like they are with you. And you hear a voice. Familiar voice. With you. I know you can do it. It's the voice of Zoe. You should tell them.
Hey, you guys. Zoe's okay. Go. We gotta get out of here. Let's go.
Okay.
Done it.
So all before that. There's gonna be some big scene interruption, and it's gonna be great.
You can't have like
As
emotional stuff happen right before. You gotta have something if you survive.
as Marco was saying to Talia.
We'll say, yeah, we'll have Fahar come up right after that. Right after you
Yeah.
do what you do.
Yep.
That idol, it's something we used to make all the time back in the flotilla. It was wasn't just the dancer, we did other ones too, but yeah, the captain's gonna be pissed, but I actually stole some of the incense from the chapel and cut them up and put them in the wax, so if you stick a wick in that and burn it, it'll actually smell really nice. But underneath it, I made a little, well, I made it, I guess, a long time ago, but when I was a kid, they used to teach us how to carve little statues of the icons out of, just rocks we found on asteroids and stuff. And I made one for myself. Originally, I made a deckhand. That's what I was taught to believe. But then I covered it in wax to make it the dancer. So if you burn it down, there'll be a dancer on the outside and a deckhand on the inside. And it's something that we were taught to make. It was supposed to be I know this is going to sound, well, stupid to you, but it was something we used to make as a reminder that there were other Zinger out there than just us on the flotilla. That for every one of us, for every free Zinger, there was a Zinger out there who was still in chains, who still had to live in bondage. And I know, Dahlia, I know. I saw. When we talked in the Arboretum, I saw your eye. I know you're one of us. I know you didn't want me to know. You didn't want any of us to know, and I'm sorry to bring it up now, but this is my last chance to bring it up.
Our kind are, as you said, in chains. Sometimes we break them, but that can't change the way others see us. And the right of life bond between a human and a humanite is forbidden. It is blasphemy, it is heresy. It is sacrilege. And when they learned that I was not human, they drove us into the desert. And because I am Zinger, and I was bred to survive, to work in the conditions that the humans could not, I survived. And Nadja did not. She was human.
I'm so sorry.
If they know that I am alive, and they probably do by this point, they will kill me, and they will kill everybody that is with me, and anyone that protects me, and anyone that tries to defend me. You can't know.
You don't have to worry about any of that now.
Perhaps not.
We're at the end of the road now. And you're right, we can't control the way other people see us. But since it's my last chance, I'd just like to tell you how I see you. I'm a fuck-up, Dahlia. I told you I was a fighter pilot for the flotilla, but I was a terrible, terrible fighter pilot. Probably the worst. There's not a single member of my family that didn't serve in that flotilla and defend my people for centuries. And in that time, not a single Dartavian lost more than one ship in their entire career, and that's a career spanning 40, 50 years. I was a fighter pilot for 6 months, and I lost 5 ships. 120,000 people died because I fucked up. Those capital ships didn't stand a chance. And they found out later on, my captain found out later on, Silva, that in that whole time I'd never fired a single shot. Because I was too scared. I was too afraid to do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. And I didn't defend my people because I was scared and indecisive. And they all died. So the first Zinger I saw in years was you. And since I've met you, well, you saw what happened. I'm not the same guy anymore. I can do what has to be done, and I can protect the people I love, and I can pull the trigger. And so, fuck it. I love you, Dahlia. Now would be a good time for the launch the ship.
So.
Hey guys, you gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
We'll come back to that. We are actually, as Niles is gonna come in right after that point, and we are gonna actually take just a quick few minute break, and we'll be right back in a little bit. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been emotional few minutes, so we're gonna make sure everyone's good. So, thank you. And we are back on the bridge. After a little bit of a emotional scene, and we're back on there. Right after that
Marco's
little
about to die in
declaration.
embarrassment. Just can't believe
There's-
what just came out of his mouth.
And there's a moment of silence, and there's just a soft little smile. And she gives his shoulder a squeeze and bends down and says very quietly, "You're a good man. My name is Miriam. Remember me." And she kisses his temple and then goes back to her gun station.
And it's probably around that time Niles comes back to the bridge. Interesting conversation you two were having.
This is in character. Dude is frozen right now. Just
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's probably right after that we get the message from Iliab.
Eliab,
Fire.
remind me, what was your message exactly?
Leave now.
And then
Then
Fahar, if you
Fahar-
wanna break in.
Fahar is, we gotta go. We're running out of time. Get us out of here.
None of this is registering on Marco. He's just
Oh no.
Launch.
gun it.
And then Iliab, a moment before the hatch closes, Cat goes by your foot. You hear the voice, "You can leave now if you want."
The cat speaking to me?
Yeah. And it's in your head.
Okay. I pause just a millisecond and I sprint to the hatch to get inside.
I am going to have you
Was he quick enough?
make a roll for that.
Okay.
Speed. 30. That sort of thing.
No.
That seems like a thing that Iliab's not really the best at.
Okay, so what am I rolling here?
As tendrils of darkness snake toward you.
All right, so what am
All
I
right,
what am I rolling under here?
Let me see.
Is
Let's
it
bring
just-
that up. Sorry.
Agility
Dexterity?
or
Yeah, agility, dexterity.
okay. All right, I've got to hold 2 die on this one.
You get a bonus from the cat.
Okay.
From the cat.
All right, here we go. 3 and 3 makes 6, right?
Do you want to make? You're not praying.
Prayer
for
to
this
the
thing.
icons.
Prayer to the icons. How bad can it be? It's either dead or not.
Yeah. All right, we'll try it again.
Oh no! Shoot!
Oh
All right, let's
God.
make it this way. Roll a D66
Ooh.
and add 15 to it.
Well, this
Okay,
could be
so
real
last
bad.
die, then it's what? RD66?
Mhm.
How do you
I die
plus
66.
what? You,
1d66, yeah. Then just add 10 to
Oh.
it. Or 15 to it. Sorry.
1D.
I just rolled 2d6s, but yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, 2d6.
Oh, that'll work. All right, we'll do it that way. All right.
Oh,
Plus what?
Oh.
You said?
I think
61 plus 15.
15. That's 76.
Would
So
be
we want to
76.
Yeah.
like what? I guess that just becomes what 66.
Yes.
Oh, he's you're not in for a good time, Elliot.
No. Wait a minute.
Mhm.
I'm going to invoke my stop talent. Stop the tentacles from getting to me.
Ah.
Is this an attack though? Is the thing? Because if it's an attack, he can't stop.
God damn it, Niall! Shut up.
I'll say, you know what?
That's a
I will-
GM's ruling. That's a GM's ruling.
You know what? I am feeling generous. I'll say that before. You can invoke that before that happened.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a minus though, because it's
Okay.
tough.
That's
Minus 3.
Minus 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
6. All right, so that's 6 die. 1 success.
Yes!
It's fast. All right, now it's my turn. You are not gonna get out of this. Okay, that's not bad. You stop time, but it's not necessarily stopping everything. Things are still moving. You push your mind to the edge. You feel the exhaustion coming. And in that split second, there's a slight moment of elation. You let your guard down for a moment. One of the tendrils just comes out and just slams you against the side of the bulkhead before the ramp clears. You manage to avoid a fatal blow. You manage not to have your head land hit it with your head or land point where it would, but you have a crushed elbow on your left side as you lean against the bulkhead.
I gotta catch my breath and then, as usually I can, make my way back to the bridge.
Mm-hmm. As right before, as that happens, but right before Marco lifts off, you get the screen ready. Get the calculations. You tell Amara what we're doing, right? What we're doing. And she tells the other ships, it's now or never, we have to leave. We'll die here, but at least we'll have a chance out there. Maybe some of us will get out.
That kiss on the temple was the use of my new talent, blessing, +3 to his next pilot roll.
Hey!
Okay.
There we go. Okay, kind of just got shot down, but I'll take that. That's good. Yeah, right on.
Mm-hmm. And you begin your liftoff process. Fahar, you make it to the reactor. It's a familiar sight. You've worked on these before. It's similar to the one on the possibility, but far larger. And you have a clarity of vision, clarity of purpose. You see that it swirls with the same dark energy. And at its base, attached to it, you see a similar piece of machinery, the one that holds, that's also on the possibility, the one that holds Zoe's consciousness, or held Zoe's consciousness. As you approach, you hear like glass scraping against a scream. And in that moment, back on the possibility, all those shapes, all those eyes that were around the possibility in the hangar bay just shrink away like fog with a swift wind. Everything just recedes swiftly, and you hear that same scream. All of you hear it in your heads. It's like its attention has shifted away from you. And as you approach this reactor, you see those same dark eyes that surround the possibility surround you. But strangely, they are not leaping on you, tearing you to shreds. It's like they're being kept away. Why don't you make... Ooh. Mystic Powers check. But... And a +5. Someone is watching out with you.
Okay.
Your faith is watching over you. Nice. You just feel a surge in yourself. Just feeling of being serene. And you know what you need to do. You also feel that encouraging presence guide you. And you know what you need to do to this. What are you doing? What is your plan?
Hi, Zoe. I'm glad you're here. I know we need to close this rift, and I know the only way to do it is to destroy this ship. Let's just hope our friends are out of here okay. Watch out for them.
I will.
He goes for it.
Your selflessness will be not forgotten, Far. I shall enjoy it. I enjoyed the time we had together. And you make that mechanics roll. But since you did so well, you have extra time. You have bought yourself extra time. To do this. To set it in such a way that you know that you will give everybody in that hangar bay time to clear this wretched ship before the reactor becomes unstable. And I would like you to make that mechanics roll. +2. Actually, how many successes? You had 3 successes. 4 successes.
Four successes.
Those dice. Let's have that. Let's reward those good rolls.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus the 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Holy!
Shadow. both.
Those dice, I guess.
Because I have the
We have
I
we have one success. That's a success.
yeah. Can I use my extra time to say something like to the fleet, to like general broadcast?
I will give you. You've had good successes up till now, and it mattered when it needed to. So you will have those extra seconds
Okay.
to broadcast. Go.
To all ships, the reactor on the Ganj-I-sawai is gonna go. Leave now. Get out of here. Save yourselves. And then that's all he says.
What does this look like for
Uh,
after
So
that?
the swirling black has gotten into the machinery and everything, and he's basically taking the reactor and reversing the polarity so that it is now, basically its atoms are instead of fusing and creating energy, they are imploding and just you know turning into a miniature kind of black hole on itself.
I think before that happens, like in an instant, you had the feeling of hands clasping over yours. And so he appears and smiles to you before. You'll not be alone in this. Thank you.
I never
Marco,
gave up
you
on
gotta-
Zoe.
And in that moment, we flash back to the possibility.
Marco, we
Elliot's
gotta
on
go.
board. Niles, Dahlia, Marco. You're on the bridge. You heard that message. You need to go.
Marco gets up from the pilot seat. We're not leaving. No way. No, we're not leaving. It's not happening. It's not happening. No.
If he's where I
You hear
think
the-
he is, Marco.
You hear the chatter of like all the other ships, like confirming with each other that they are leaving. Everyone's spinning up, getting ready to go. You have much time.
Dahlia, you told me before all this that you could fly this thing. I think you can. I gotta go find my friend.
I'm not leaving anyone behind ever again.
Niles?
Look,
Listen, Marco. I wanted to get Fahar back just as bad as you do, but we've got to go.
No. Niles, you don't want to get Fahar back as bad as I do. I can promise you that right now.
This moment,
That
Elam, you
man's my
can come
family.
back to the. A moment, Elam, you can come to the bridge if you want to. If you feel like it.
You heard that too, Captain? Oh, you're muted, Hawk.
As this is going on, as soon as I hear him say that, I invoke Mindwalker to try to see if I can see where Fahar is.
Okay. Make that mental powers check.
Two successes.
You.
I want to see if I can see through his eyes where he is.
Yeah. You follow instead of directly getting, kind of like finding Fahar, you follow like a wave. That darkness. You see where it's going. And you, right before, like, around there, you see Fahar and you see through his eyes. That lasts like minute or so. The reactor He needed all this time to get over here. You don't know necessarily how Fahar got this far into the ship in that time. It's in the back. It's at least 3/4 of the ship away. And you see Fahar set this reactor ready to go. You see him punch in the mechanics, rip open the panel, and you see the resolve on Fahar's face before you are back on the bridge.
Where is he? I know what you can do. Where is he?
He's probably at least 3/4 of the ship away from us. There's no way we can get to him in time.
Where is he?
He's at the main reactor core
Let's go. Snatches up her
inside the
gun.
ship.
Snatches up her gun, grabs Marco's hand, and starts running for the hatch.
Dahlia, we only have one exosuit.
I'm
not
going
letting
with
anyone
you.
Again,
Adding more numbers to the we only have one exosuit equation is not
I
going to
have
balance the
an
equation.
exoshell. Let me do it.
You took an exoshell with you in the escape pod? Dahlia? You have to fly.
I look over to Mara and I go, "That's her job.
She
I'm
looks
not
at you. She's
leaving
like,
anyone behind again. You're a pilot. Prove it. Get them off of here."
she looks at you. She's like, I'm second command on a merchant ship. I don't know how to fly.
Figure it out. And she's walking for the hatch.
I'm going for
And
my
this-
exosuit.
I look at Marco and
Miles
say, as much as we possibly can, if I can head this ship your direction you'll be going, we'll try to head that way for you. I can't make any complete promises, but I'm going to do
So
what we can.
Marco goes over to his cot where he keeps a lot of his shit because he doesn't do it in his room. And he reaches up and grabs the backpack that is his stage 4 communicator that allows communication even from orbit. So should have plenty enough range to keep in touch with you until you get too far away, as long as you stay relatively near the ship. And throws it on over his back and says, I'll stay in touch, Captain. Maybe we can arrange a pickup on the other side of the ship.
Make it so.
Niles
Captain.
is. Sorry, go ahead.
Just a thing. Captain,
Yes.
you're a good man. And it's been an honor to be your pilot. Thank you.
It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you.
And Marco's going to give him a hug. Probably the first time they've ever done that.
And Eliab returns it. Now go.
Going.
Not Niles is. His exoshell is probably back in his quarters.
Mm.
So he's going to go to his quarters and he's probably going to finally find that talisman that Eliab made for him.
Now's a good time for it.
And he's going to pick it up and he's just going to quickly put on the exosuit. Well, the exoshell, because it's like an armored version of it.
Mhm,
And
yeah.
you just hear him quietly say to himself, he's just like, Silas, I'm sorry. And he's going to join Dahlia and Marco.
All right, exosuit on,
Yes.
backpack on.
As you get to the hatch, you hit the button. Nothing happens.
punch it.
Nothing
Literally, I
happened.
punch it. Punch it harder.
So
You
we
punch
say
it as hard as you can. You feel your knuckles bruise. A little bit of the exterior shell is crumpled, but nothing.
I rip the panel out of the wall and start looking to rewire it.
Looking to
let
what?
them know, Zoe.
I want to
them know.
rewire it.
Help them, Zoe.
was
Get them
fun.
out of here.
I am feeling. You feel ship. Engines. Come on. Captain on the bridge. You see that
I
the
look over to
takeoff,
I look over to the pilot seat. Is there anyone sitting there?
there's no one in the pilot seat. But
I
you
look
see
over to this person
you
on
see
the
the
bridge
launch.
that I have no.
You see the launch system. You see on the screen the launch system beginning. As you feel the ship just struggle to lift off. And you feel that shake, that little bit of turbulence. And that quick bit of momentum as it's pushed out.
No.
I hit my communicator. Marco, are you
Marco, you
three out on the
know-
ground yet?
You know what's happening exactly. You know what this feeling is.
Captain, we're stuck inside. We can't get the door. The door.
The ship's taking
The
off
door
on
won't
its
open. We
own.
can't get... What? Stop
You didn't
it.
program anything in here, did you?
I didn't do
for it to
shit,
take
Captain.
off?
Stop it. Stop the ship.
Does this feel like what was happening with me inside the temple when all this started?
No. This feels like maybe the earliest feelings that you've had when you became Man of the Icons. It's maybe something that maybe you haven't felt for a little while, but you feel it now. Something else. It's similar to what you felt in the temple, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Lighter. You don't feel the hands try and grip your soul.
Something else is in control of this ship. It's not us. I go over to the pilot's seat to see if I can see anything that I can do to countermand what's going on, but I'm assuming my lack of pilot experience, it's all going to look like buttons and knobs and dials and switches,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep. And this is what you pay a pilot for.
Mm-hmm.
And on the comm, although you don't necessarily know how to fly it, but you see the sensors, you see the chatter, you see Amar try and communicate with the other ships. They're doing the same thing. Revving up their engines, starting their launch sequences, and heading out. Because this ship is about to be nothing.
I'm gonna call Fahar.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Can you hear me, Fahar? It's Marco.
Are you guys safe?
I think we're leaving, buddy. I don't know why, but it looks like we're taking off.
Zoe's here. Hopefully she's with you.
Zoe's always with us, buddy. Never forget
No,
Zoe.
I mean, for real.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't think we're gonna have a lot of time to talk, man. I'm gonna miss you. You're my family, Far. You're the only friend I have in the world, and you're the only one who cares about me. And I'm gonna miss you so fucking much.
It's not true. You guys all have each other, and now you have Zoe back. She'll watch out for you. It's okay. Did the other ships get out?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't really see where I am right now. We're just stuck. I was trying to. We were gonna come find you. I was gonna come. You and me were gonna.
There's no time, bud. There's just things are gonna pop here pretty quick.
On fire. One more slingshot. You and me.
It's okay. It's okay. We're good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thanks for buying this weird ship with me, buddy.
Yeah. Zoe's back. She was there. She'll watch out for you. And I think kind of at that pop. Stab.
And Fahar, in those last moments, you reflect on that last when that djinn touched your arm. You know you didn't hear this at first, but it whispered, "She'll be with you." And in that moment, Marco, you hear all of you on the bridge, a familiar voice, not one with pleasant memories earlier that day. Any ship that can fight, any ship that can do anything, help. We need to get these ships out. That thing is still here.
And Marco drops takes the backpack off and just drops it on the ground and walks back to the bridge.
And on the bridge, you see you're out far enough now where you can see the smoke tendrils, the Bajin that attacked the other ships, kept them from escaping. But whatever Fahar did is distracting it, dissipating, because it is not quite as large. But it is heading toward the fleet, the little fleet of ships. You see about 30 of them that made it out. And you see of that ship, probably about 3 or 4 of them. Marco, you know that these ships, while not being combat ships, are ones that can defend themselves, and they are turning around to try and buy the fleet some time.
I get back to the bridge. I guess I had Dahlia and Niles with me, but I guess they just came back with me.
After you ended the call with Fahar, Dahlia wrapped her arms around you and said, "You have a friend."
And Niles
You're
will,
not alone.
during part of that call, he isn't hugging Marco, but he has like that, one hand on his shoulder, and it's kind of not enough to hurt, but it's a very tight kind of like squeeze. I don't think you have friends, Marco. You have family.
And hearing that transmission that they need help, Marco just stands up, kind of puts a hand up like, "Don't, I'm okay. Don't."
Mm-hmm.
Drops the backpack communicator, strips out of the exo shell, and looks up at all of you, and takes his glasses off, and you see from the starlight that Marco's eyes are glowing iridescent blue. And he says, "I always wanted to be a fighter pilot when I grew up. Better late than never." And starts walking toward the bridge.
Time to pull the trigger.
After I
follows
hear
behind
the
him.
transmit, go ahead, finish. All right. As the transmission asking for the help finishes, I make one last attempt to do a mind walker with Fahar. Does
Okay.
anything even am I even able to connect?
All the time for host connection lost.
Oh no! It doesn't want.
Oh my god!
It doesn't. Oh, it doesn't want it. I'll just say.
Oh, brother.
You know what? That's too perfect. I'll say you can't hear anything.
Yeah. No connection. Okay.
All right.
As I see everyone come to the bridge.
Your roll just came through, but it still didn't work.
Yeah, it's still.
Looks like
We'll use the physical.
we have one last job to do. For Fahar, let's go.
And Niles is actually still at the hatch door, and he'll sort of pick up whatever would be like the speaking into part of the communicator, and he's just like, "Fahar, I know you probably can't hear me, but I'm sorry that you were the first person I pointed a gun at on this ship. I was scared, and you were the first one that showed any kindness to me. And I'm so sorry that you were the one I pointed a gun at first. I know you probably can't hear this, but none of us here are going to forget you. None of us." And he just sort of lets the communicator drop, and he'll just solemnly go to a bridge and helm the sensor station.
All right. In that moment. Well, before we that, thank you, 69 for the gift subs. Thank you very much. You've given the crew some extra bonuses to go into this last bit of space combat to save the fleet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, some of those subs were me, and that's what you call a Hail Mary.
Ah,
You feel
well.
like you're about to die in a game.
So you go into this last maneuver. There's a empty station that wasn't there. A couple empty stations as you prepare to try and defend these ships, give them a chance to escape. And how we're going to do this is actually we are going to just do some rolls. See how well you do. We're going to go through the same to make this more dramatic and more cinematic. We're going to make, and to make sure it doesn't last too long, we're going to have you all go through the same rounds of stations.
Yeah.
But it's going to be 2 successes. You're going to need 2 successes. And if you succeed, I want you tell me what you're doing at this station. What dramatic maneuver you're doing to protect these ships.
Well, first things first, if I'm going to barnstorm back onto this bridge in business mode, I believe the last thing that happened was Dahlia told Amara to fly. So I'm barnstorming back in and be like, you, out of my seat. You're on sensors now.
Okay. She'll help. All right.
And then it's probably right around there. Niles will come back and be like, "You're in my seat."
Sorry.
Engineering.
Engineer station. Sit over there.
All right. It's like, well, I'll assist anyone that needs extra station. I'm good at logistics. I suppose I can help. And so she'll provide a rolling +2 on that to anybody that wants her help.
Is that like once per round or something?
No, that's once per. This is going to be a 1 round thing, so someone's going to have that help.
All
So
right.
we'll do the same thing. We'll have Captain. What do you do? What do your commands do to buy this fleet time?
I give commands to Marco to get us in as optimal firing position as possible. Tell Dahlia, have that ion cannon ready, and let's blow this thing to smithereens. Get your best shots off that you possibly can. Niles, get us locked in so she's got as good a shot as she can possibly get. We may only get 1 shot at this.
And Niles doesn't vocally respond, but he just nods.
And you, and looking to the new person on the bridge, keep an eye on those engine lights. Let us know if something strange starts flashing on there.
Yep, she'll nod. All right, so you're gonna have to make your page 166.
Command. So
166 is the page.
So this is just operating slightly different. You're going to roll, and how well you do. So
Okay,
each one of
so
each one of these phases is going to basically be a turn.
Okay. So am I rolling my standard command roll then?
Yep. And
Okay.
we'll see how effective your command is in this first turn to try and distract the Bajin.
How does 3/6 sound?
Excellent. You've passed the difficulty.
Hell yeah.
As you know what to do, like what with that last fight, what to do to distract it, to get its attention on you.
Mm-hmm.
As you fly in front of the other ships. Have the ship pelt the body with fire, draw it off enough, and leave enough room for you to escape its attacks and make it able to not get within range where it can start tearing the ship apart. As you see a few of the ships that were about to be destroyed gain distance, and you see their engine lights in the background. And that was yours. It is engineering phase.
The soul of Fahar from beyond the grave is gonna.
Mhm.
Don't make me cry again.
Normal combat distribution: 3 to engines, 1 to sensors, 1 to weapons.
Oh God, Greybeard, I want to hug you so bad right now.
You've been around Fahar enough that you. Who's going to try and do that maneuver from your console? You can do it from there. It's not as effective, but
Oh, the for the engineer.
mm-hmm.
You make a technology roll. I'm pretty good at that. I can do that. And it feels right that I should take Fahar's station on this.
All right. Take
So
a
it's a
negative
technology
1.
roll.
It's not your native. You're not your standard station.
Yes.
You're trying to multitask.
Okay,
If
so
you want to
that
invoke the
is-
blessing, you do have that blessing as well.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Right now I'm on 5d6.
Mhm.
That blessing would give me
Plus
How much?
3.
That give you plus
Let's
3,
do
give
it.
you 8.
8.
8d6.
Anyone's going to need it's going to
Shauna,
be
take-
you and an unfamiliar thing.
Shauna, you have another dark point.
Okay.
Oh,
Excellent.
that
From
gives
the
a dark
blessing.
point. Blessing. All right.
Yes.
Okay. 8d6 for the engineer phase is what I have right now.
Okay.
Here we go. Thank you, icons. Yes! Whoa!
Super success. You.
Whoa!
How do you? What do you do? Like what are you doing that makes this maneuver
I am
particularly
doing-
effective?
Marco is doing. He realizes he hasn't done this kind of basically hot wiring of an engine to make this work properly since he was a kid on the flotilla. So it's been like 6-7 years since he's even played with this. He's just been flying. But he remembers being around Fahar all these years and just all the time when it was just the two of them, when they had just bought this shitty piece of shit ship that had a weird talkative AI on it, and they had nothing but each other. They were completely broke. And it was just him and Fahar flying around trying to find work where they could. And he remembers all these talks he had with Fahar that were just in the engine room where Fahar never left. And Marco was never paying attention to what Fahar was doing, but Fahar could never stop fidgeting with his hands. He was always fixing something, screwing something in, welding something here. And 5 years, 6 years of that, of just watching your best friend in their element, lovingly doing the thing that they do so well, it just absorbed into Marco over all that time. And he feels for a moment like Fahar's hand is really on the council. Like Fahar's here with him, helping him do this, and he can see Fahar's brilliance and his expertise just kind of shine through, that he was so bloody good at what he did that he managed to teach me via osmosis. Just being around you. And now here he is applying that knowledge. And Marco engineers the shit that. Oh, and now it's my turn.
It's your turn.
My normal turn.
You did the job. A few more
Hell yeah.
ships. But I have some dark points.
I was riding a high there, Sean.
You did good.
Yeah, well.
You're gonna need 3 successes to do this.
You need 3 successes?
You need
Or
3
I do.
successes. You do.
I thought you might say that. So I am going to. Eliab's order was get us in an optimal position, so I'm going to use the better position, the position move from the pilot phase. That stupid amount of 6s that I got in the previous roll for Fahar's engineering phase, does that help me in any way? Or what bonuses do the extra 6s give us, if any?
Nope. That is a separate thing. You succeeded in saving those ships. Each one of
Oh,
those,
cool.
each one of these is a separate round. So
Gotcha. Okay.
each of you is
So-
doing something in each particular run to
Gotcha,
stave off
gotcha.
this creature.
I see what you mean. Okay. All right. Well, I have 3 energy points. We have a class 2 ship. I'm going to spend all of them in an optimal position.
Mhm.
My agility is 5. My pilot is 3. I have my lucky helmet that gives a +1. That's 4. I
Mhm.
already broke Dahlia's blessing. Don't think there's anything I can do to make myself better at this. So I think 96 is going to be the roll. So, and I need 3 successes.
You need 3 successes. I didn't even think that was 3 6s, but okay. Well, that was 6 6.
That's a
Okay,
lot of
cool.
sixes,
Yes.
Shauna. You know how
Yes.
this thing rolls.
Yeah.
Are there any
What's
cats
also-
that wish to help?
There are no cats. The cats have.
Yes, there is a cat. When you reach up to check your helmet, the scarf is
Oh,
back
no.
around your nose. Your shoulder. And you have
Yeah.
2 crits.
You have two
You got
crits.
I'm gonna burn them
use-
both.
Burn them both. Okay. This
Burn 'em
will
both.
burn them both. Okay.
It's 10d6 from the scarf, 12d6 in total.
You need 3. 25% of these things to be 6s.
Not a praying man, but if I was,
If you were, you have prayer also.
we'll
Mechanically.
see. All right,
Let's
it's
see.
an honor serving beside all of you.
Oh my!
Oh
Oh
my
Oh,
god!
you're kidding me.
You're gonna pray,
You too?
Marco.
Each one of you have 2 prayer things,
Ooh.
and you need
Ever
it.
there was a time.
Apparently, holy. Well, it is not. It is. Yeah. Reroll. Reroll without darkness points. You have 2 of them. There's.
I'll take the darkness
Ugh.
point and pray to the icons. Come on,
You don't, no.
deckhand.
You have it from the the boon. You have 2
Oh.
rerolls without darkness.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
I didn't catch
I'm.
that. I
Yeah, that's what
literally
those-
paid for that and I didn't catch it. All right, that's great.
And you need it. You need.
And I need it.
You
So thanks, past
you need
me.
it. You need it. Yeah.
All right, this one's
Make
for
it
past
so.
Colin.
Come on.
Make it so.
Come on.
Please.
1, 2,
Four.
3, 4.
Or
All right. Describe how you're flying. That's how you barely get out of it. You didn't think you had a moment where you didn't think you did, but you.
Give me just a moment there. Okay. Whew. The order was optimal position to fire on this thing, right? Yeah. So if I have free range to just do some cool shit right now.
Yeah, this is time to describe cool shit.
Marco is piloting like a young man again. He's not particularly old himself. He's only 26, but he is piloting like a kid as he screams out of the hangar and is doing like some unnecessary corkscrews and stuff, and just having fun with it. Just not Niles, Dahlia, Eliab, all of you have been around Marco enough, particularly Dahlia and Eliab, to know that like Marco gets in his own head a lot. That's why it's been so hard for him to take off and to pull the trigger. And all of that is completely let go. And he just looks like a kid in a candy store at the council. He's smiling, and as he's dodging out of the way of the stuff, he's like laughing, just yeah, just having the time of his life. And he, given the context, he looks a little like he's out of his mind, but he is just absolutely having a ball. And it's something about what just happened on the engineering panel of feeling like Fahar is there with him, that it's just like the time. Now he watched Fahar in his mind's eye, in his element, being so good at what he does, and now he feels like Fahar's watching him do the same thing, and he just wants to put on one hell of a fucking show for his best friend. And this is some Evel Knievel bullshit he's pulling right now.
Yeah, you get real, like, you thread the needle as far as like a couple of these tendrils that are kind of like trying to engulf the ship, and you just fly right through them, like you're going through like surface through a half pipe.
And
Marco
he looks
is
calm.
a steely-eyed missile man.
Steely-eyed missile man.
Marco
And he looks
deserves
cool
a
as
few
a cucumber.
seconds. Yeah, Marco deserves a few minutes of elation. It's forget what just happened a few minutes ago. It's good for.
I'm
And
good.
that-
I'm going out in a smile.
And you managed to, with that fancy flying, like blast a few of the tendrils, allowing more of the ship to get distance, joining the
Like
others.
that space demon. He says
And-
in character.
Yes, Space Demon. And new role for our
Yeah, I got
again with this thing.
Phew.
same thing. I have some points I gotta use up.
Good.
So
Three
three
successes.
successes.
Okay.
You have a few.
Using my
You have- you-
talisman.
You have a few like passenger vessels. One
Mhm.
particularly slow one with a few survived some damage after that initial jump, but it's just kind of like limping its way out.
Okay.
All right.
Using my talisman, so I think I'm rolling a total of 9d6 after the engineering phase. So let's see where this goes, please. Gotta pray.
Gotta pray. You gotta use them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Please. Fuck's sake. I mean, I've got one more.
You got. I mean,
Use that.
how else? This is.
Use it.
This is
Yep.
what
There's
I need.
no
Now
other
or never.
ending.
Endgame, baby.
So
one
on.
says. You. What were you doing with the sense? What was your maneuver?
He's essentially trying to, I guess, to a certain extent, almost tap back on some of the feelings he had whenever he was initially possessed by whatever that was from the darkness between the stars, and is sort of like trying to track anything that might be similar to what it was like for him before, and then just point out multiple spots that might be weaker.
Yes. You do that, but tapping into that memory for that brief of seconds may have had tapped into the initial fear, so it may have done something, but you try hard. You get a few of those ships out, but a few of them are just too beat up, too wrecked, and too slow. As you see the Bajin just hit it with that, like that energy that to rake across its hull, and you see it make contact, and the ship disintegrates. A few of them make it out, but you've lost a few of them. And our last one is our defense station.
Dahlia knows she doesn't have target lock, but she'll be damned to the faceless if she's not going to try and blow a bunch of these fuckers out of the sky. And as she looks over at Marco, and Naj's scarf is around his neck, and then she looks at the wax figurine sitting on her console, and she peels the wax away till the deckhand shows, sets it back down, guide my hand, guide my eyes, let's persevere. Naja, be with them, and she will fire the ion cannon. All right, so see, ranged combat.
Range combat and same thing. 3 successes is my last point.
Okay, so that's 4 plus 5 is 9. Plus I get 1 for weapons and 1 for being ion cannon, so that's 11.
Yes.
Here we go.
All right, we'll see.
Ooh, that's 3.
3
that's 3.
successes.
Is my girl. Yes.
Is that enough?
That is enough.
Is that what? And she closes her eyes and she says, I'm sorry, Nadja. Soon, one day, but I can't leave them behind again. And she's going to blow the.
Mm-hmm. And you do. You line up shots. Every time it gets close to another ship, you unleash a salvo. These ion cannons. You get close enough even for the accelerator cannons, and then you just one by one just make sure they don't make contact. And the final few ships manage to break free. Oops, and I am going to ask for one more roll for yourselves. You did so well, making sure this fleet escaped. But with all this, you were one of the last ships that were left. And now it relies on you to join them. You see the Bajin, the smaller Bajins, start to dissipate, being as far away from their host ship as they can. You know what you need to do. And it's going to be... You know what? It's going to be... You need... I'll have someone makes a roll. How well? Anyway, let's see how well you can command this ship out.
Okay, so
You've
command.
done so well. Yes.
Smoke them if you got them.
6, 7, 8. 2 6s.
Yes. So with 2 6s, you manage to get out. You command all your crew. They perform.
Oh,
I think she knows.
oh yeah. I think Shauna caught on.
So how's
What?
everybody doing?
One
Right.
moment, please.
Yeah. 404.
Do we have a Shauna again?
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Apologies.
It was the cat ears causing the problem, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Always knew.
But yes,
Always knew.
But yes, you managed to break free, make some distance. You join the other ships on the way back to the portal. And you see in the distance, silhouetted against that terror in reality, that red blinding light. You see there for an instant, you see a bright flash that lasts for a few seconds, and then nothing. But that feeling, and you see in the last seconds a bit of smoke around just dissipate. And that feeling in the bottom of your stomach that's been there ever since you got to that ship dissipate. And you know in your heart that that ship, what that thing wanted to do, it cannot. Its mission stopped right then and there, thanks to your friends. And you managed to get this small fleet of ships out. As you guide them through the portal, you have enough time for calculations. And you're able to make your way, finally, after some time. You make sure the ships can make it back to their ports. You guide them back to the station, the massive space station Coriolis, your original port. A little bit worse for wear, but you know that it's still here, and that you'll have many opportunities. And the first chance you get, you end up in one of the bars, sitting, having drinks. And this is where, well, some final words for everyone. Do any of the characters, what did they say at this
First
think
thing I
Niles.
do, first
Go
thing I do when get sat down is I make sure everyone's got a drink in their hands. I stand up, take my visor off, hold my cup in the air, and say, "To Fahar."
Fahar.
We clink and drink.
And that's where we'll pull away from this crew, taking one last salute to their friend. But back on the ship, you see a cat sitting at the reactor where, when not in the mechanical body, Zoe is. And you see it hum back to life, weakly, but it's still there. And it lays next to it and goes to sleep. And that's where we'll end Last Horizon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks. You made it.
It
Most
doesn't
of you
feel like we
survived.
made it.
It doesn't feel like we made it.
Ugh.
Yeah,
We did, but we did.
This is a first.
Most
I'm gonna
everyone
wipe.
got out.
I'm gonna wipe my tears with my fake tattoos.
Well, okay. Second, but yeah, thanks everybody for all the donations. You helped them get through it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. But we'll do our outros with everybody, and if you have any words, anything we want to say, where they can find them, and we'll go in the same order that we introduced with. So, Cleric, we'll begin with you, and Dahlia.
So my voice is a little huskier than it was when we started. Wow. Thank you, Shauna, for this story and for letting me be a part of this crew. It's going to take me a while to process. I have words that I'm not sure I know how to speak coherently at the moment, but damn, I love you all. I wish Megan Zoe herself could have been here with us for this. You are loved and you are missed deeply and truly. And even though you're not here, you are still obviously a very big part of our story. And to Zoe.
Zoe.
Individual accolades, I'll RP with any of you any day of the week. Colin, you know how I feel. We've talked. Hawkeye. Iliab will forever confuse and confound Dahlia. She does not understand him. She will never quite trust him, but I think she's not going to shoot him on sight anymore. Graybeard. Oh, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for bringing what you brought to this with Fahar. Was I've never seen anything like it. It was beautiful, and thank you so much. Niles, you had to step in. Spence, you had to step in the hardest place with the hardest way to go, and you did it. You nailed it. Thank you for that. Shauna, always a pleasure to sit at your table, whether you're playing or GMing. Any day of the week, anytime. I love you all. Thank you, everybody who donated. Thank you, everybody who retweeted. My name is Kat. I'm at Clark of Cord, and I play games on the internet with my friends, and they make me cry. And I love you all. Check us out on YouTube. If you haven't seen any of the rest of the shows, you can catch up there. This is finale week. We've got some more wonderful shows that are just as intense and emotional and wonderful as this was, and you need to check them out. And the special shout out for our special presentation of Wild and Chaotic on Friday, of which I believe, Colin, you're a player? So,
I was wondering when someone would mention it. Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, take care of yourselves. Black Lives Matter. You matter. We love you. Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks. So it's been a pleasure. And yeah. And Marco, Colin, ooh, rough episode, but you got everyone else through.
Yeah. My God.
Tied up some stuff with backstories. Got out alive.
We got some lore drops. We got some tier. My God, I can't even. All right. How to begin? Well, that final session was so much better than I ever could have imagined it, and to quote Han Solo, I can imagine quite a bit. And we talked obsessively about this stuff behind the scenes. We traded ideas about what was going to happen, but it's a classic example of no plan survives contact with frickin' GMs. So here we are.
Also, I left the last episode like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
In the best possible way, Shauna. In the best possible way. I mean it with all the love. It was just such. It's the kind of, you need. We can come up with all these great ideas all day, but you need heat to make light. And until we start bouncing these ideas against each other and making some frickin' friction, you're never gonna see how beautiful that light can actually shine. And brother, was it shining! Oh my God, this was fantastic. I'm gonna do the cat method here and do individual accolades. In reverse order, Spencer, my dear boy, that was so lovely, so lovely. When you came on the show, I did not envy your position because everyone hated you when you first came. I mean Niles, not Spence. Everyone loves Spencer.
Right, no, I get that.
Everyone hated Niles when he got here.
You come into a
I
situation.
did not envy your position. I did not envy your position, but you
heightened
shone
paranoia.
through so beautifully. Oh yeah, totally. Absolute heightened paranoia. You shone through so beautifully. You did such a great job, and so glad to have you as part of my crew. Hawk, the arc on Eliab is so much more than I ever saw it ever being, and the fact that in the end you decided to make Eliab make that very choice to kind of stand by the people that he loves at the end was so good, so good. I was just charmed by that. It was so wonderful. Cat, you beautiful human. You know how to let a guy down easy, I tell you. That was some fine work. That's some fine work. That's so good. I wanted to get one more chat with you at the end because a bar talk sounded like a good idea, but you know, we ended on such a lovely note. You can't spoil it. It was just so good.
Yeah, we can do that later. She
Yeah, we'll talk
she
about
still has things she needs to say to Marco.
Okay, yeah, we'll chat about it. And I have to say Shauna for the end, but it's hard right now because my buddy Graybeard just broke my heart into 1,000 goddamn pieces this evening. And I love you, and also I do not forgive you. Just so fantastic. But as far as final words go, you broke me, Graybeard. You absolutely broke me. That was so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And somewhere Charlie is like breaking plates against the wall right now. And Shauna, you evil, beautiful woman. I agree with Kat. I would be at your table anytime. I would love to GM you someday too, just because I'd love to know what you're like as a player. If you're this freaking devious,
So good.
big ups on player.
Good player. So it's amazing.
Can't wait to play with you again. I can't wait to play with any of you
Yes.
again. But Shauna, you absolutely you're so good at the building dread slowly. You're an expert at it. It's some of the best I've ever seen. Fantastic. I'm jealous of your ability to do that. And so thank you. I'm going to give you the highest like GM to GM form of flattery. I'm going to steal 90% of what you did. I'm going to absolutely shamelessly rip it off and put it in my repertoire, and that's all because of you. So thank you.
I mean, I do that with everyone else. All the great GMs I play with still honored.
Yeah. So anyway, whatever. That was a long way of saying I'm Colin Omicon. I also play games on the internet with my friends. I can still catch tagline. And these are all my friends, and they absolutely made me weep tonight, and I love them all dearly. And please come see us again. I'm on Wild and Chaotic starting this Friday. I play a character who's way less serious than this one. So come see that. I play Libertarian Santa Claus on that one, so come check that out. That'll be way more entertaining. You'll get way more laughs, and I will cry far less than I did this evening. I will not be wearing any fake tattoos, and I won't have a box of tissues because I won't need them, so come watch. I love you all. Good night.
And Kara Hawkeye and our
Alrighty.
Ilium, you went on a ride, but got out.
Up and down all over the place. So it was a lot of fun. Niles, the hardest thing to do is to come into a story that's already going and trying to find a way to fit in, and you did it brilliantly.
Yes, thank you for
I love where you went with it and how you were able to make everything work. It was because I know how hard it is to do. Fahar, Graybeard, I was going to try to be the gallant ship captain and sacrifice himself for the ship and crew, and you beat me to it. And you did it more brilliantly than I probably could have ever done. It's been great watching your character, seeing how our different interpretations of the icons and everything worked in and all that. Nice to see that parallel and dichotomy going. It very much enjoyed it. Colin, your character up against mine you don't know how much you helped me flesh out areas of my character that I hadn't thought of.
Oh,
And
thank you.
that is always great to have someone that helps you bring more out of your character than you even thought was there. And I have you to thank for it. And it's been an honor and a privilege working with and combating against you. All right, Kat, you were part of the first RPG I ever streamed on Twitch with other doc. That was my first time in a regular campaign, and I enjoyed this one myriad times more even than that one. Even with as much fun as that, it's always fun working with you or watching you in action and all that. And anytime I get it, I know there's a chance to work with you, I'm always gonna jump at it.
I believe Kate was a sarcastic gunner as well on a ship.
Yeah, she was in a sense. Yeah.
I may have a type.
But my Falstaff was a totally different character than Eliab. That's for sure.
This is very true.
And Shauna, when I came up with the idea of what I wanted to try to do with this character, I was very much thinking, okay, not going to go with it. It's going to get too touchy-feely, mystical, religious kind of thing. I knew I was handing you some daggers, and rather than tossing them aside, you not only sharpened them up, but you grabbed a few extra ones to stick in as well. It's been thank you for. I enjoyed how you've helped challenge Eliab all the way through, and all that, giving me a chance to make that character grow, and it's been fun working with you, trying to see how far I'm going to go before I either become Moses or David Koresh, one or the other. With this episode, I wasn't sure which one I was going to end. I was certain I was going to end one or the other, and I was betting towards the latter. But I've enjoyed watching you on your other streams. Had a lot of fun with this one, and look forward to hopefully working with you again sometime in the future. And everyone here, it's been an honor and a privilege to play with you all.
There is no Kool-Aid on the ship.
No cool.
So, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me here. You can find me on my channel on Thursdays. I've got my weekly Skyrim serial that I have going. I'm resurrected my character Eric Rosine, who's trying to go through the legacy of the Dragonborn. Coming up this Saturday, 7 p.m. on my Twitch channel is Grappler's Keep, my WWE 2K20 universe with a bunch of DMs, GMs, and other RPG players across the Twitch universe. And coming up this weekend is our pay-per-view. Instead of it's the Elimination Chamber setup, but instead it's going to be our Chamber of Horrors PPV. So all belts are on the line, and we'll see where the straps end up when things are done. Otherwise, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG fanboy by night, and if I'm not playing with you, I hope to be watching you.
Thanks. Forward to seeing you again. And Graveyard and Shahar. Oof. Heartbreaking, but that's a hell of a thing. It was a hell of a thing.
Spence, can I swap places with you? Because I worked on a pre-recorded video for Fahar, and I want to outro on that, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah,
okay.
sure. I can do that. Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Our new place on the ship. No one's pointing guns at me anymore.
Yeah. Wow. That
For
was. That was a.
Oh, no.
Oh, Charlie's asking if she needs to do a thing in the green room.
No.
Okay.
No,
But when. Oh God. But how to start? When I think I had proposed like the whole thing about I want to play this guy who's like just this space demon possessed individual who, I mean, I didn't say this, but due to where I came in as a story, was probably not going to gain any of the possibility crew's trust, and somehow by the end of this, kind of found his own little place on this ship. Even if people are still a little bit wary of him, he thinks that's justified. Man,
I paid for that drink for him at the bar at the end, by the way. You're all right.
Oh man, who do I start with? Man, Kat. We played in a couple one-shots together before. This is the first time we played in like a consistent thing together. And man, that tension between Dahlia and Niles initially was very palpable, and you could probably cut it with a knife. But I think they found their own little, not necessarily friendship, but they have found a somewhat mutual let's not try to kill each other kind of thing by the end of this.
A detente has been declared, but she doesn't swear that you won't wake up someday and find another muzzle plush to your temple.
I mean, fair, 100%. Man, Colin, man, you broke me last session. You broke me when Marco said that he believed Niles, and that while he may not essentially fully trust him yet. This crew needs your help. Man, that was probably one of the most emotional moments I've ever had in RPG in a really, really long time.
And you
Because
nailed it, by the way.
And I've always been super used to just being in a party where everybody's working together and is at least somewhat friends. To play a character that was essentially at odds almost the entire campaign was a completely new thing for me. And the fact that I was able to handle it as well as I did, I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, dude, you had a huge challenge, and like I said, you nailed it.
Yeah, you did
That was
fantastic.
really,
You were
really
great,
hard.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Iliab, KY Hawkeye, whatever. But, man, Iliab was one of the most really cool, yet kind of creepy characters that I've ever played with. Because it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you kind of said, like, you didn't know if he was going to go one way or the other with the whole revival thing about his religion. And it was awesome to watch, especially when I wasn't in the scenes. I could just kind of watch that weird chaos unfold. And it was glorious. It was so awesome. And see, Greybeard. Oh, Niles meant it. He's extremely sorry that Fahar was the first one he pointed a gun at. Because he was essentially the first one that showed him kindness on the ship, even though he had just pointed a gun in his face. And you broke me at the end here. You broke me. Because it's just, I haven't had a good cry during an RPG in a good while. It was good. And Shauna, thank you for taking me in at what was probably a very rough point in the story to bring a brand new character in and try to squeeze him in. It was super awesome to do weird space shenanigans with you and everybody else. And I also kind of meant what Niles said earlier, like, y'all aren't my friends, man. You're family for me now. Like, if there's a time to get together with all of you and do more RPGs again, I'm down all the way. And
I'll see you next week, homeboy.
yeah, Monster of the Week. And I guess I also have to extend a special thanks to our Kobold number 6, to Charlie, for having me be the one to come in and fill Megan's spot. And while I miss Megan deeply from what I watched of the first 2 episodes, what I've watched of her, she was great. I'm glad that I was able to come tell this little space story with everybody. So yeah, I'm at Spence the Old Taco on Twitter. Next Wednesday, I will be having the first session of a Monster of the Week campaign that Colin is going to be our keeper for, and I'm extremely excited.
It might be streamed. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I guess I can go next, just so we can maybe leave on Fahar.
Okay, sweet.
But I am been Shauna, Flying Search the GM for this thing, and thank you everybody. I was nervous going into this. I GM relatively few things, so it was a new kind of like deal with this much stuff. Thanks. I just want to say blanket thank you to my cast who blew my mind as far as like what you all brought to this. I didn't think it's possible, and you all delighted and surprised me with this. So brought so much to it. I can't thank you enough for helping me out on this campaign, and I would love to play with y'all again sometime. And special thanks to Charlie and Lydia for like doing the tech behind the scenes, because I'll be honest, I have awful multitask, and I don't think I can do this on my own. So thank you all very much. And yes, we'll see. For me, actually, my voice is, my brain is a little shot. I talk more of these things than I usually do, so my voice is, okay, I'm a little like choked up. But
We love you,
Yes,
Sean.
thank you, everybody. It's been a delight. Thanks for watching.
You're amazing.
And
Amazing.
check out the Discord. There might be some stuff for. I mean, there might be some things said, maybe some follow-up stuff. So be sure that we've had such a delight talking to there on there. And yeah, I'm Flying Serious on Twitter. Instagram, pretty much any place else. I have art that I do throughout the time. I've done art for the
And it's
Mass
fun.
campaign on this channel, and the wall. And I should have something kind of cool coming up in the next couple of weeks. And as far as games, I'm actually gonna be a little bit of a break for a little while until I think the new season starts, and I get to play Adeline on the Crownlands again, which I can't wait. I miss that show so badly. When it starts, but that's me. Thank you, everyone. And Greybeard.
My man.
Greybeard's Tavern. Find all my stuff there. I am not going to go around the circle. Big hugs with consent to all of you. You guys are amazing. I couldn't have done it without you guys being so awesome. So it was a privilege and a pleasure. All right. Afterwards, at some point, the bridge, the console, whatever, goes beep, beep, and it's a pre-recorded message, and it's Cheery Fahar. Hope I can get through this without crying. Cheery Fahar in his exosuit, bright light in his face, and just kind of crawling through some horrible little tunnel. And he says, well, if you guys are listening to this, it means you made it. That's awesome. It also means that I probably didn't. But that's okay. Because, well, I hopefully I saved you. And Niles, buddy, like I said before, talking to the lady, you don't have to live like this. She loves you. She'll take you in. It's all good. And he's scooting along for a couple more seconds, and he says, Captain, I don't know if you're going to make it or not, buddy. The Faceless One and them, they want you bad. I hope you did, but I don't know if you're going to make it. Sorry if you didn't. Scooting along. He says, Dahlia, you, Fahar, or you, Marco, I hope things work out. It'll be cool. I mean, you take care of our boy for us, okay? And he stops. Marco, I love you, man. Love you more than you'll ever know. And the camera goes black.
And that's where we'll end it. Thank you very much. Join us. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much. If you leave a comment. And join the Discord. We give all these wonderful people and we can talk. But this has been the Cats Noel, and we are signing off. Thank you very much.